Hi, I'm Ernesto Peñaloza Guzmán, and I'm going to talk to you about the methods for multi-criteria decisions. The decisions of multiple criteria is to identify the best solutions or solutions considering simultaneously the multiple criteria that are at stake. First, we have alternatives, which are solutions or possible actions to take. Next, attributes, which are characteristics that describe the alternative, can be qualitative or quantitative. Next, we have the objectives, goals that are expected by the decision maker oriented in livelihood situations. Right next, the goals, results that can measure the level of success of the attributes, and the criteria, parameters of reference points that allow evaluating the options or alternatives presented in the decision process. We can catalog these multi-criteria techniques in three groups: techniques with a priori information plus techniques with a priori information again. That's equals to the interactive techniques. The first part of this equation are the techniques with a priori information first part. The flow of information is the opposite direction from the decision maker to the analyst. These techniques demand that the decision maker provides the analyst with its structure of preferences, and this is who builds the model, including in him all this information. In the process, we have the model next to the analyst, efficient alternatives, the decision maker, and finally the decision. Again, with the techniques with a priori information, with them is generated partially or totally the set of efficient alternatives. The main advantage of this type of technique is that the only information needed from the decision maker is his opinion of the more the better. In this process, we have the decision maker again, the information of references, the analyst, the model, and finally the decision. Final part of the equation are the interactive techniques. Here, the decision maker provides the analyst with a partial information about your preference structure in the beginning of the process. With this information, the analyst presents an alternative to the decision maker, who evaluates and accepts or to refuse. In this part of the process, we have the decision maker, next the information of references, next to the analyst, the model, to the decision, finally the evaluation, and the process repeats, starting from the decision maker again. In this current method, the decision maker must establish the relative importance of each of the objectives pursued to build a preference structure among the likely alternatives. Also, in the methods for multi-objective decisions, when we have problems that show a large set of non-predetermined alternatives, we can use the optimization of multiple objectives, since this allows us to design the best alternative, taking into account a certain number of restrictions, limitations, or conditions involved in solving the problems raised. The decision tree method is an analytical method that, through a schematic representation of the available alternatives, facilitates the making of varying decisions, especially when there are risks, costs, benefits, and multiple options. The cost-benefit analysis determines the feasibility of a project. During its planning, the costs and benefits directly or indirectly from it are evaluated. From there, the pertinent decisions are taken.